Alright guys, I'm going to show you how to start your research and what you are going to look for when you are trying to find reliable sources out there on the internet. Now, most of y'all, when you start your research on the internet, you're probably going to go to Google, which is perfectly fine, but I want to show you some things to look for. So for today's purpose, I'm going to pretend that my topic is Titanic. So when I simply type in Titanic to Google, I am going to get over 132 million different results. And as you can see, the very first thing that pops up is actually the Titanic movie. And that is obviously not what I want for my research paper when I'm trying to find out the history of the Titanic sinking. So what I'm going to do is to add to this sinking. And I'm simply going to search that, and my results narrow down to only 558,000 results, or 5,580,000 results. So it's still a lot, but it's a good place to start. Now, one of the things that pop up, and most of y'all are going to get this, is Wikipedia. Wikipedia is one of the links that will always be towards the top when you Google any words into Google, any of your conflict or your research topics. Now, we're going to talk about Wikipedia for a second, so I'm going to go ahead and click this first link. Wikipedia is not necessarily a bad place to start, but it is definitely a place where, or a website that you are not allowed to use as a reliable source. Like I said, good place to start, but not reliable. The reason why it is not reliable, if you look up here, I am already logged in. Anybody can create an account and have a Wikipedia login username. So when you log into Wikipedia and you search something like I have done, right here I'm reading the article. But if I go over to edit, then it's going to pull up the web page and the HTML where I can start editing the information on the actual article. So, with that said, Wikipedia is a good place to start if you would like to read about your article, because it does have a whole lot of information, as you can see. I mean, that background, it talks about the icebergs. But since anybody can create an account and anybody can change the information out there, it is not a reliable source. So if I were you, I would read through this and look at the pictures, because they do have some good information. And I'm not saying it's not correct. It could be correct. I just can't trust the fact that it is 100% correct. So I would go through and read all this if you would like to just get to know about your topic. And then I would scroll all the way down to the bottom. And you are going to look at some information that is going to be reliable. Now, here is the bibliography for the Wikipedia information that you just saw, that I just scrolled through. This bibliography is a list of books and different websites and articles and interviews and newspaper reports, as you can see down here, that the author of this Wikipedia used to help them with the information in that article. This is where I would start. These sources are going to be your reliable sources for your research paper. Now, there are a couple of things. Obviously, the books, all of these are the books that they used, are going to be pretty hard to find in our middle school library. You could possibly find them by searching up the ISBN number and the author and all that information. So you could go to the books if you would like to, but for our research paper, I would actually scroll even further down and look for the external links. These are the different web pages that helped them with the Wikipedia article that you just saw up top. This is where I would start if I were you. So if I clicked on the first link, this is actually something, let me just take that off. This is something, a web page that I could trust. Now, one of the biggest reasons I would be able to use this as a reliable source for my research paper is because it is a .org. .org means it is an organization of some sort, and not any old person off the street can create this website. It is a reliable source. I do know that it will have a whole lot of information over here. So this is definitely one of the websites that I would use to help me with my research paper. All right, so let's just, for the sake, say that I do use this information. I'll go over here and click on history because I want to learn about history. So let's just say that this is a web page that I do use for my research paper. I do want to use this information right here in this paragraph. Well, I am going to make sure that I copy, I just highlight that, highlight the URL link, right click, copy, and I'm going to open Word. Now, I'm going to right click, paste. So that is the link that I am going to get any information off of. The reason why I do this when I research is at the very top I will have my link, and then any facts that I pull, we'll go back to the web page. Let's just say that I want to copy this information because this has really good, really good fact that I would like to help me write my research paper. So I'm going to right click that paragraph, go back to my Word document, right click and paste. Now, anything that I pull off of this web page, which is a reliable source that I know, I will have all the information right below it. So it's a really good way to organize it later on when you actually start typing up your research paper. Why is it so important to make sure that you have this link? Well, because after I am finished with my research paper, I will have to create one of these bibliographies that you saw back on Wikipedia. Now, obviously, this is a bibliography right here. Obviously, your bibliography will not be this extravagant because you will not have how many sources. We're asking and requiring you to have only 5 sources. 3 of those will have to be books, and 2 of them will have to be internet link based. So you will not have this big of a bibliography, but your bibliography will look something similar to this. Now, those 2 links that we are requiring you to have internet based, you will have to have the URL link for your bibliography. So that is why it is so important to make sure that you copy the link when you start finding information off of the web page. Okay, so let's go back to Wikipedia and let's scroll down to the very bottom. Remember the external links. I'm going to click on the second one. I already looked at the first one and I already pulled off the information that I want to use off the first one, and I have it right here in my Word document. So the second link, I'm going to click on it. Now, when I first look at this second link, I am going to notice that it is a .com. When it is a .com, anybody can create a web page as a .com. The second thing that I notice is that there is no company's name, no school's name. There's nothing on here. I have no idea who the author is. I don't know who created this or who published this web page. So even though it does have some interesting photographs and different things I could possibly use, I am not going to use this as a reliable source. Again, it is a .com. Anybody can create a .com. And there is no author, no company's name on here. There's nobody to give credit for this. So I'm simply going to go back because it is not a reliable source and I'm not even going to look at it. I'm going to go down to the third link. Now, there's a couple of things that I notice here. First of all, it is a .com, but if I go further, I do see 2 things. There's an author and there's a company. So, even though it's a .com, I have an author and a company, and so this would be a reliable source because I have an author, and if I wanted to, I could go and look this author up to see if he is actually reliable. So you just go to read, and here we have things that you could read through. All right. I'm going to hit the back arrow to go back to Wikipedia and show you one more thing. Let's go down to our last one. This one, even though it is a .com, and anybody can create a .com, I have a New York Times. So everybody knows about the New York Times newspaper, and therefore it will be a reliable source that I can use. All right, so let's just say that I pull information off of this page. So again, I'm going to click on the URL, make sure it's highlighted, right-click, copy. I'm going to go back here. Now, this is just my preference, and you don't have to do it, but again, I find it as the easiest way to organize all your information. I am going to create a new page in Word so that each page is a different source. This is one source, and I'm going to try to create a second source. So I'm going to right-click, insert, page break. It's different than my other computer. Okay, so I have a page break. Now I'm going to right-click and paste my new link. This is my second source. Then any information I pull off of there, I will highlight it and make sure I paste it on the second page. So when I go through, this will be my first source, my second source, and then when I have my third, fourth, and fifth sources, I would have a new page for that as well in my Word document. Okay? So hopefully that helps you get started with your research. Again, when you are going to Google, let's just Google this, back to Google, I'm just going to do search. When you are doing your research, please make sure that you are not using Wikipedia. Wikipedia is not a good source because anybody can change the information. But if you want to go back to just simply Googling the Titanic sinking, there are a few things that you can look for. .coms are not good to use. Again, anybody can create a .com. But let's see if we can find a better reliable source. A .edu would be a great source, and that's what I'm looking for right now. Because a .edu means it is an education website. These are all .coms. But a .edu would be good to use. It's an education website. And a .gov would be great to use. That is a government website, and that is obviously something that you can rely on. Man, these are all .coms. Here's a government one. So the .gov. So you could use that one if you, I guess, wanted to, even though it's Nova Scotia. .edu. That would be a good source because it's a .edu right here. .gov. There we go. We're getting to some reliable sources now. So if you wanted to go and do just simply type in your source, your research topic, to Google, that is what I would look for. A .edu, .gov, or .orgs. Those would be your 3 reliable sources. Okay? If you have any questions, please let us know.